Misa was brutally murdered by her husband and best friend. To make matters worse, she'd been battling cancer at the time, but in the next split second, she suddenly found herself in her office.
神戸さん大丈夫？はい。住吉さん。
She was stunned by the sight before her. Just then, her section chief invited her down to the cafe to go over some materials. While waiting for the elevator, she ran into her future husband, the very man who'd killed her in her past life. Misa's only thought at that moment was to get as far away from him as possible. As soon as the elevator doors slid open, she rushed inside. She didn't want to say a single word to him, but he followed her in anyway, touching her hand repeatedly and even complimenting her scarf. These intimate gestures triggered a flood of memories from her murder. Fear rendered her speechless. The second the elevator arrived, she bolted out, only to crash into her friend Reina the moment she stepped out in her past life. This woman had also been in on her murder. Reina asked why she was in such a hurry. Still reeling from fear, Misa walked away without a word, glancing over her shoulder repeatedly as her mind raced. My boyfriend and best friend killed me, so why are they acting like nothing happened? Misa found her answer in a store that it was 2015. She traveled 10 years back in time. She could barely believe it. Walking into the store, she saw every product labeled with 2015. Pulling out her phone, the date confirmed it. 2015, she stepped in front of a mirror and saw her younger self from a decade ago. This meant she had her healthy body back, no more cancer, yet retained all the memories of the next 10 years. Misa ran wild across the city, gorging on all the foods she'd longed for. Just as she was savoring her meal, her boss called, urging her to rush back for the project briefing. Misa remembered how disastrous this day had been in her past life. This time, she was determined to change everything. She hurried to the original briefing location. Reality unfolded exactly as it had before. Reina called to say the location had changed. But this time, Misa had grabbed the correct visitor pass in advance, sailed through security, and successfully boarded the elevator, where she ran into Director Suzuki. She arrived at the product launch right on time. Misa began her presentation, but memories of her past life came rushing back in her previous life. The fruit product they promoted had been a total flop, and the factory had even shut down a few months later. This time, she couldn't let history repeat itself. She told all the executives to put down their materials and instead proposed a product concept that would blow up in the future. Bubble tea is going to become insanely popular. There will even be a bubble tea theme park in Tokyo someday. These ideas were so ahead of their time that no one believed her. Misa pressed on. This product's popularity will last until the COVID-19 pandemic hits. The executives, hearing these unfamiliar terms for the first time, thought Misa was still half asleep. After the presentation, Misa was, as expected, chewed out by her boss. Back at her desk, Reina came over to apologize, just like she had in the past, claiming she hadn't meant to cause trouble. But this time, instead of forgiving her as she once had, Misa stood up and walked away without a word. Once work was done, Misa headed to a restaurant, an old favorite she'd frequented with her father. Her dad had visited her whenever he'd had free time, and this place had been their regular meeting spot. Though her father was no longer around, luckily, the restaurant was still open. Misa pulled a candy out of her pocket, one a taxi driver had given her earlier. She placed it on the table and noticed a tiny origami turtle folded from the wrapper, shaped like her favorite animal.